Hi, I'm Jim Knotts, President and CEO of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund. Welcome to today's virtual reading of the names. 2022 marks the 40th anniversary of the dedication of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. As part of our commemoration, we'll host an in-person reading of the names at the wall from November 7th through 10th, 2022, when all 58,281 names on the wall will be read aloud. In the lead up to that event, we'll be reading names each day online while sharing the photos of these heroes. For our daily virtual reading, the names of the service members will be read by month and day of death between the years 1956 and 1975 in alphabetical order for the given day. We apologize in advance for any mispronunciations. Know that our readers are doing their best to honor these service members. We hope you'll listen and watch each day and share with others as we remember and honor those who gave their lives during the Vietnam War. David Kim Asen, Humberto Acosta Rosario, Eddie James Allen, Larry Cornelius Allen, Herman Robert Armstrong, Lindsay David Baldoni, Charles Robert Bales, David Allen Ballou, Richard John Balthazar, Ray Milton Barker, Kenneth Dale Bills, Jackie Dean Bird Jr., Anthony Burdett Blair, Michael Terry Boat, Peter William Boras, Kenneth Neil Brandeis, Troy Ellis Brantley Jr., Albert Lee Brown, Barrett Chamberlain Brown, Charles Willis Brown, David James Campbell, James Blaine Carlson, Albert Joseph Carrier III, Curtis Paul Chalberg, Glenn Alex Chavez, Larry Davidson Cook, Bobby Glenn Corsi, William James Crockett, Harold Edward Cushman, Donnie Lee Damewood, Edward Earl Davies, Wayne Robert Davis, Philip T. De Lorenzo Jr., Henry Van Demps, Lawrence R. Detweiler Jr., Billy Wayne Disharoon, James Allen Donahue, Michael Gene Dugas, Robert Leon Dunaway Jr., Robert Michael Doral, Fredfor Edwards, David Norman Emery, Joel Edward Fowler, David Lynn Ferry, David Wayne Frady, Gary Lee Frazier, Randall Roger Freeberg, Edmund Furman, Roberto Le Gabbana, Bertrand Ronald Gagney, Joseph Dennis Gagnon, Dennis Albert Gotti, Lawrence Geiger, Waddell Getter, Albert Hugh Giddings, Thomas Edward Gilliam, Ronald Anthony Goldwitzer, Luis Martinez Gonzalez, Lawrence Ray Goodman Jr., Henry Granillo, Michael John Greco, Richard Ralph Grinnell, Harold William Haddock, Charles Edward Heath,
Robert Allen Heiser, Stuart Franklin Hemp, John Michael Hill, Charles John Hoban III, Dwight Brinson Howe, Philip Wade Hunt, John Lawrence Hurd, Paul Andrew Jerome Jr., Leonard Richard Johnson, Arthur Harry Johnson, Clifford F. Delano Kangas, Larry Morgan Kelly, John C. Kennebrew, John Creighton Gill Kerr, Robert Lee Kettler, Peter Allen Kidd, Gilbert King, Argessler King Jr., Moses Iwani Kuahawini Jr., Adrian Andrew Lee, Newell Farrell Lee Jr., Christopher Allen Lesky, Michael Lewis, Robert Dean Lingle, Peter Lopez, Daniel Haley Love, Robert Louis Madland, Dominique Joseph Madonna, David Alfred McAfee, James K. McAleer III, Philip Glenn McCall, James Elmer McWhorter, Peter Joseph Mears, Jr., James Allen Messer, Verlin Gwen Meyer, Donald Arthur Middleton, Jeffrey Allen Miller, Anthony V. Meoni, Stephen Douglas Moore, Burke Henderson Morgan, James Michael Moriarty, Gerald Lee Mounts, Robert Douglas Moy, Maurice J. Nile, Robert O'Neill Nyman, Edward James Novak, Paul Francis O'Leary, Billy Ray Owens, Paul Elmer Parker, Roy Keith Peterson, Jeffrey Charles Peterson, James Harold Piggott, Derwin Brooke Pitts, Billy Wayne Platt, Norman Gerald Poitras, Thomas Michael Ralston, Rocky Darrell Ramsey, Anthony Neil Revick, James Michael Richards, Thomas John Roberts, Pedro Juan Rodriguez, Robert Leslie Ross, Peter Lowell Russell, Dwayne Lamont Salter,
Eric Don Saltz, Robert Bruce Sanders, Thomas Ralph Sayers, James Edward Schultman, Stephen Michael Schlube, James Edward Self, Kenyu Shimabukuro, Thomas King Smith, Donnie Paul Smith, William Robert Spey, William Edward Spence III, Lawrence Edward Stevenson, James Lawrence Stone, John D. Stringfellow Jr., Howard Franklin Taylor, Darrell Dwayne Taylor, Wayne Earl Thomas, Otis Thompson, Lee Morrow Tigner, Reginald Gay Tolbert, Arcadio Torres Jr., Richard Lee Trees, Depai Raymond Van Kuren, Benjamin T. Wallangatang, Patrick Edward Ward, Paul Ward, Alan Price Weaver, William Eugene Weber, Walker Norwood Weeks, Blaine Alfred Welch, Thomas Ralph Wells, Cicero Whitfield Jr., Raymond Lee Whitman, Benjamin Galoo Willis, Robert Matthew Orshinsky, David Leo Wright, Billy Edward Yarborough, Ronald Lee Young, William J. Zeltner III,